Pretty Woman is one of the most famous romantic films ever produced by Hollywood.
They really let you borrow this from the jewelry store?
I'm a very good customer.
Edward, there'll always be some guy, even some friend of yours, thinking he can treat me like Stucky.
Millions of viewers have watched this work over and over again for more than 3 decades and know by heart every memorable moment between Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. But right in the middle of those seemingly perfect scenes, there exists an unusual detail sitting in front of everyone's eyes. What is surprising is that no one recognized it at the time the film was released. And it was only many years later that audiences began to discover this mistake. A small error, but enough to make millions of people rewatch the film with a completely different perspective. Let us explore what truly happened behind that moment thought to be impossible to fail.
Father, what's his name?
Carter.
Yeah, Carter.
Carter Lewis.
Carter Lewis. He's not.
The film was shot during the period from late July to mid-October 1989. With a grueling 24/7 work schedule, time pressure led the production team to unavoidable technical errors. These mistakes subsequently became a focal point of discussion. One of the most typical visual continuity errors appears in a scene at the luxury hotel room. When the character Vivian removes the tie for Edward while they are watching an entertainment program on television together, the audience can clearly see the tie has completely left his neck. In the very next frame, as the camera changes its angle, Edward's tie suddenly reappears in a neatly tied state. This strange disappearance and reappearance shows a lack of consistency between different shots within the same segment. This incident is often called a Rackard error by professionals, the result of splicing together shots filmed at different times. The script supervisor failed to detect the change in the character's attire, creating a significant flaw in the imagery. Next is an extremely famous costume and prop error, often referred to as the croissant turns into a pancake incident. During the breakfast scene at the hotel, the female lead is holding a croissant and begins to enjoy it heartily. Only a few seconds later, when the camera switches to a close-up, the object in Julia Roberts' hand suddenly turns into a flat pancake. The abrupt change of the food right in the actor's hand without any explanation created a humorous situation for viewers. This error was not detected throughout the editing process and the theatrical release in 1990. It was only many years later, when high-quality DVD versions were released, that fans had the opportunity to observe closely and point out this disastrous confusion regarding the prop. In addition to errors with objects, uncontrollable physiological reactions of the actors also created dramatic behind-the-scenes moments. In a scene requiring high intimacy, the female lead, due to excessive anxiety and pressure, experienced a situation where forehead veins were prominently visible. It did not stop there, as Julia Roberts unexpectedly suffered a red skin rash caused by extreme stress. This condition threatened the aesthetics of the frame and risked disrupting the filming schedule, which was already very tight for the crew in Los Angeles. Facing this urgent situation, director Gary Marshall had to intervene directly by massaging the actress's forehead to soothe the blood vessels. This was an effort to maintain stability for the star's face before the camera began recording. Another interesting detail involves the costume of the character Vivian in the opening scenes of the work. To build the image of a girl with a difficult life, Marilyn Vance, the person responsible for costume design, had to search for items with a common appearance. Among them, the red vintage jacket that the character wears is a true second-hand item. It was purchased for only $30 from a sidewalk vendor while the crew was filming exterior scenes on the street. The decision to buy this item happened very quickly because of the urgent requirements of the filming context at that time. That cheap jacket then accidentally became an important part, creating a strong contrast for the character's transformation later on. The cause leading to the series of flaws in costume and continuity in the film is considered by analysts to be due to schedule pressure. Continuous filming from July 24th to October 18th, 1989, left the logistics team in a state of overload. In the late 80s, visual monitoring techniques on set did not have strong support from digital technology as they do today. Remembering the position of props and the status of actors' costumes depended entirely on visual observation and manual note-taking. The negligence of the continuity supervisor, along with the hurried editing and cutting process, allowed these errors to slip through the screening rounds. Even so, these flaws did not diminish the intense appeal of the work when it was officially released globally. From those overlooked costume mistakes, the crew accidentally created a design that became the greatest cinematic icon of all time. The red dress story. The red evening gown that the character Vivian wears to the opera has become one of the most famous cinematic outfits. Still, few people know that for this design to appear on screen, a tense confrontation over aesthetic viewpoints took place fiercely between the parties. Initially, the Walt Disney Studio and the producers issued very specific requirements for this costume. They wanted the female lead to wear a classic black evening dress. This was considered a safe, elegant choice that would not clash with Julia Roberts' vibrant red hair. While under pressure from the studio, Marilyn Vance, the costume designer of the project, held an entirely different perspective. Marilyn Vance believed that black would make the character appear faded and failed to express the powerful transformation in Vivian's soul and status. The designer Marilyn Vance insisted on defending the idea of a brilliant red dress. To persuade those in charge, she had to carry out an extremely elaborate color testing process. 3 dresses with 3 different shades were cut and sewn to prepare for the test session. The selection process was by no means simple, as Marilyn Vance had to have Julia Roberts try on each dress and stand under the studio lights. After many rounds of consideration and visual comparison, the special shade of red finally won an absolute victory, overcoming the skepticism of the production team. The final design is a sophisticated off-the-shoulder gown, honoring the physical beauty and radiance of the lead actress. Marilyn Vance created a handcrafted masterpiece imbued with an aristocratic breath, helping the character completely transform from the image of a street girl at the beginning of the film. The red gown is not merely a fashion item, but also carries deep symbolic meaning in cinematic language. It symbolizes the confidence, empowerment, and journey to rediscover self-worth of the character Vivian amidst a high society world full of harsh prejudices. Throughout the production process taking place in the late 80s, finalizing this dress was a top priority. The meticulousness in every needlework and thread turned it into a work of art, contributing to defining the style for the entire work upon its release in early 1990. The influence of this red dress has gone beyond the boundaries of an ordinary motion picture. It became an endless source of inspiration for world-famous fashion designers and the gold standard for the evening style of many Hollywood stars for decades. Pop culture has recorded this as one of the most iconic costumes in film history. After more than 35 years, this glamorous off-the-shoulder design is still frequently mentioned in prestigious fashion rankings and sought after and recreated by many fans. The steadfastness of Marilyn Vance in the face of the studio's demands proved her sharp artistic vision. Without this mistake, compared to the original direction of the studio, the audience might never have witnessed the most classic transformation moment in world cinema. Coordinating the color red with Julia Roberts' ginger red hair was originally considered a taboo in the costume rules of that time. Even so, Marilyn Vance broke all barriers to prove that rules are born to be changed if the artist possesses enough sophistication. Every detail on the dress, from the pleats at the waist to the flare of the skirt, was calculated to create maximum visual effect. This helped elevate Julia Roberts' appearance in the opera scene, turning her into a true lady in the eyes of the audience. The brilliant success of this costume also helped Marilyn Vance receive absolute respect from professionals. She turned an item serving a plot into a cultural heritage, possessing value for preservation and research in terms of style to this very day. The red of the dress is even called by a private name by fashion enthusiasts to remember the special attraction it creates. Its presence on the big screen created a craze for shopping and tailoring in the Vivian style immediately after the film's global premiere. Though the film encountered some minor technical errors during the recording process, the perfection of the red dress compensated for everything. It attracts every gaze and makes viewers completely immersed in the modern fairy tale, forgetting the unnecessary flaws. Besides its aesthetic value, the dress is also a testament to the harmonious coordination between the designer and director Gary Marshall. Both together created an immortal character icon, where fashion plays the role of guiding emotions and telling the story in a silent but effective way. From this splendid fairy tale image, few know that the initial production journey originally stemmed from an extremely dark script. Production journey. Few could imagine that this classic romantic cinematic work originally stemmed from an extremely grim script. The first draft, titled $3,000, was penned by screenwriter J.F. Lawton, described a raw reality of street life in Los Angeles, rife with vices and hardships. In the original script, the character Vivian was built with a complex psyche and was heavily influenced by substance abuse. Her relationship with the millionaire Edward did not feature rosy moments or deep understanding, but was merely a cold financial transaction. The original ending of $3,000 was a complete contrast to what audiences saw on screen. Instead of a romantic kiss on the fire escape, Edward would throw the sum of $3,000 at Vivian before driving away, leaving her to return to her dark life. A major turning point occurred when Walt Disney decided to acquire the script rights through its subsidiary, Touchstone Pictures. Executives, most notably Jeffrey Katzenberg, recognized the enormous commercial potential of this dark material and transformed it into a vibrant modern fairy tale. Director Gary Marshall was chosen to lead the project with the goal of completely refreshing the film's tone. Along with the editing team, he removed elements of tragedy and addiction, replacing them with humorous, warm details suitable for the tastes of the general public. The official filming process began on July 24th and ended on October 18th, 1989. This was an extremely urgent period of work for the entire crew to meet the release schedule. Every shot was carefully calculated to optimize the appeal of the lead couple. Still, an unexpected natural disaster disrupted the production plans of the film crew. The Loma Prieta earthquake, with a magnitude of 6.9 on the Richter scale, occurred on October 17, 1989, in San Francisco, causing heavy damage to the area and directly affecting the crew. Due to the consequences of the earthquake, the intended setting for the opera scene in San Francisco was severely damaged. Director Gary Marshall and his associates were forced to quickly find an alternative solution to complete the final important segments of the film. Ultimately, the crew had to move the opera filming location to the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles to simulate a theater space. Flexibility in management helped the film avoid long delays, even though the actual setting had completely changed compared to the original plan. Casting was also a challenging journey, as many big stars of the time turned down the roles. Richard Gere was initially not keen on the character Edward because he felt the role lacked psychological depth compared to the actor's specialized acting style. Everything only changed when Julia Roberts appeared and directly persuaded her male colleague with a simple but effective action. She wrote a small post-it note with the words, "Please say yes," and gave it to Richard Gere during a joint meeting in New York. The natural charisma and sincerity of the young actress made Richard Gere change his mind immediately. The combination of a veteran star and a promising new face created a booming chemical reaction, becoming the soul of the entire cinematic work. The transition from a dark drama to a romantic comedy style is considered one of the wisest decisions in Hollywood history. It not only saved a script at risk of being forgotten, but also created a lasting global cultural phenomenon. Jeffrey Katzenberg and Disney leadership remained steadfast in their goal to create a film capable of conquering all classes of audiences. They believed that hope and a happy ending always possess a more powerful spreading force than the harsh, painful realities of society. After overcoming the upheavals in production, the film left a massive legacy through expensive jewelry and the long journey of the cast. Legend lives on. Beside the costumes, luxury jewelry pieces also played an important role in creating the class of the work. The most expensive detail is the diamond necklace that the character Edward borrows for Vivian. This treasure had a practical value of up to $250,000 at the time of filming in 1989. Because of the immense value of the item, the jewelry house Fred Joaillier requested an unprecedented strict security regime on set. An armed guard was always on duty right next to Julia Roberts 24/7, even when the camera was operating, to ensure absolute safety for the gemstones. The moment the jewelry box snapped shut, making the lead actress startled and laugh out loud, was actually an impromptu joke by Richard Gere. Director Gary Marshall found that natural reaction so wonderful that he kept it in the final cut, creating one of the most classic scenes. In addition to the borrowed necklace, the film also used a special design for the opera scene. That was a necklace crafted from 23 rubies combined with diamonds, with an estimated value of about $200,000. This luxury completed the high society lady image for Vivian. The film's behind the scenes also recorded many other interesting memories, such as the soap bubble joke in the bathtub that made Julia Roberts dive around looking for the crew, or the detail of Richard Gere himself playing the piano piece in the hotel lobby, which was a work composed by the actor himself in real life. After more than 3 decades since the premiere date, the lives of the stars have had many significant changes as of this year. Julia Roberts has now turned 58 and still maintains her A-list star status in Hollywood. She enjoys a stable marriage of more than 20 years with Danny Moder. The family of the Pretty Woman has 3 children, including a pair of twins born in 2004 and the youngest son born in 2007. Regarding her career, Julia Roberts still operates persistently with the latest film project titled After the Hunt, which was expected to be released to the audience last year. Currently, the star shares her time living at mansions in Malibu, Hawaii, and New York to balance work and family. The brilliant career originating from the role of Vivian still helps her maintain her attraction and serve as the representative face for many global luxury brands. Meanwhile, actor Richard Gere, at the age of 76, has major turning points in his personal life. After marrying Alejandra Silva in 2018, he has 2 more young sons. The most surprising thing is the decision to move and settle in Madrid, Spain since 2024. The decision to leave the U.S. to move to his wife's homeland shows Richard Gere's priority for family during these years. Even at the age of nearly 80, the actor still maintains his elegant style and occasionally appears at major international film events. As of 2026, rumors about a reunion in the project Pretty Woman 2 have once again exploded strongly on film forums. Fans around the world still expect a special combination to celebrate the long journey of this on-screen couple. Director Gary Marshall, the person with the greatest contribution in molding the success of the film, passed away on July 19, 2016. His departure at the age of 81 was a great loss for the film industry, but the legacy he left behind still lives forever in the hearts of the public. Passing through 36 years, Pretty Woman still asserts its position as an immortal monument, where costume errors or technical flaws only increase the human charm of the work. It is the combination of the miraculous transforming script, iconic costumes, and the explosive chemistry of the stars that created a cinematic magic that lives on until 2026. Which wardrobe error impressed you the most? Or are there any other behind-the-scenes secrets you want us to explore? Please like the video if you find it interesting, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next journeys of discovering screen icons. Don't forget to leave a comment to share your perspective right below.